So Ben, I would love for you to elaborate on the AGI toddler concept, and especially this idea of replacing the soul chip every year as they get older. I mean, do they need to have that replaced every
No,
year?
I mean that was sort of a possibly tongue-in-cheek product idea that David Hanson and I had discussed. I mean, what we discussed was you could sell a baby robot and then sell a subscription. So every year you get a new body for your baby robot in the mail. So it starts out tiny little baby. Next year it's like a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and so on. And then, of course, most of the mind is going to be in the cloud anyway. But there's some processing on board, right? So I mean to the extent that there's data stored on board, of course you could take the soul chip or the card or drive or whatever out of the 2-year-old robot, send the body back to the manufacturer and put the chip into the 3-year-old robot. I mean, in actual reality, you could just port the data like you do when you update a laptop, though, right? It could all just be ported by a cable or Wi-Fi or something. But the core of that idea, though, was that human body grows. Current robots don't grow, right? AI minds can grow, but robot bodies don't grow. So if you wanted to have a robot child that was maturing along the trajectory of a human child, you'd probably like throw out its old body and replace it with a new body periodically, sort of like we do with our kids' jackets and shoes and so forth, right?
It'll be disposable.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems that progress of AI is faster than the progress of humanoid robotics, right? I mean, humanoid robots are coming along, but I mean, in like 3 years, computer vision went from research to widespread deployment. In a few years, natural language processing had. You could have in a period of 2 or 3 years, AGI go from being a research area to being a real thing that's deployed all over, because it's just software, right? And it seems like while hardware is advancing fast in the scope of human history, it's not quite as speedy as software, just because you have to dig things up from the ground and build factories and all that. Of course, once you have factories that 3D print factories that 3D print factories and so on, then hardware is advancing at the speed of software, and bits and atoms are interchangeable. But that may be post singularity. Right?
Yeah, I called that the big flip about 6-7 years ago. The Moore's law used to be propelled by hardware, and then it flipped over to being propelled almost entirely by software.